Thank you very much for coming to my channel. Hello guys! Today is a very special video. Today I have my very cute and smart guest from Russia also. Her name is Tatiana and she has her own blog that's called Russian Podcast that helps you to learn languages. Go check it out. Could you tell me a couple of words about you?
Well, my name is Tatiana. I'm originally Russian, but I live in France. I've been living in France for more than 10 years now. And I have a website, russianpodcast.eu, where I teach Russian, mostly audio lessons, but also articles, and now also videos.
Under your experience, under your work, do you remember like any funny stories of people learning language, but you know, it's when you learn a language, you're facing with different mindsets, different cultures.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you remember some funny stories about it.
Well, first of all, yeah, I mean, myself, well, I speak French, Russian, obviously, English, and now I'm learning Japanese. And I think learning language is really an incredible thing because, well, people say that you kind of get a new personality.
That's right.
With every language. Well, I don't think you become like a completely different person.
You just enrich your
experience. But for example, when I speak French, I will be a little different. I will be more like, yeah, like a French girl. Coquine, yes. When I speak Russian, I think I become more direct and sometimes a bit brutal. Yeah. English, I'm maybe more practical because I mostly learned it for work. Yeah, now I'm learning Japanese, it's something different. I think you have as many personalities as languages you speak. I socialize quite a lot with English speakers. And I always used to say when I found something interesting, I would say, oh, that's interesting, that's interesting. And actually my British friends said, actually when you say interesting, it means you are not interested at all. So yeah.
So what should you say?
Well, I should say, great, tell me more about it. I don't know, something like that. But when we say in Russian, интересно, it means you are really interested.
But in English, it's almost the opposite, right?
Exactly.
You're also teaching languages. You teach Russian, French, and English, right?
No, I only teach Russian and French. Yes,
Russian
and I only teach by Skype, by the internet. So I have lots of different countries every day. I can have like Switzerland and Hungary or Norway in the morning and then Russia and the US in the evening. When I teach American people, they like a show and lots of emotions. Oh, that was great, wonderful. And for example, Scandinavian people, it's the opposite. They don't really like compliments much, and French people, they always need a very precise explanation about everything, and they ask lots of questions. Like for me, that was also a cultural thing, because when a person spends like 40 minutes asking questions, you can think that they didn't understand anything.
That's right.
But actually in France, it's a sign that the person is interested.
So it's always different with different people. You cannot put everything in a box and
of course. Yeah, of course.
You always have a different approach. I'm also teaching languages. I teach Russian, French, and German and English. I'm also facing with different situations like that. Always people, when they come into me to learn, for example, Russian, they start like, okay, I want to learn Russian. And the first question I ask, what is your motivation? Why do you want to learn the language?
Well, of course, it's always important to know why.
Yes.
The goal is very important. But I think what's great about Russian and French also, it's because people are very often mostly interested in culture, Russian culture also. Like when you learn English, I think lots of people learn English because of work and because really you have to speak English. But when people start learning Russian, 95% it's because they're interested in Russian culture, Russian literature, music. So yeah, and also traveling. And also I have quite a lot of retired people because...
Great! That's great! It's never too late to learn a new language.
Well, you know how old my oldest student is?
95?
Not 95, but
90.
89, yes.
Ooh.
89 years old. And actually he's very good because he has studied languages all his life. When you stop working, your brain is not as active as it used to be. So language is like sport for your brain. You really, it really improves your skills, your memory. And even for me, when I started learning Japanese, I noticed that my reactions are now better, I remember things better. So language is actually good for your health.
That's right. So it's very important to learn a new language because it's like a workout for your brain. And not a lot of people are thinking about the brain, they're thinking more about the physical appearance.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think the most important is what is inside, because when you are working mentally, it shows. It shows everywhere.
Of course, and if you speak several languages, it's really very sexy.
It's very... No, we can say that. We're very sexy. No, I don't know. But I think that's why this person that you're teaching, he's French, right?
He's French, yes.
A lot of French people, they don't stop learning. They travel a lot.
Yes.
And it's very inspiring to see that you never have to stop. Not a long time ago, I was having an interview with president of the Acronis company, Bilausov, and he went to Silicon Valley, and he said that soon we are going to live about 200 years, but the most important is to preserve your health, and your health is not only about your body, it's also mental health.
Yeah, I agree, and I also think that learning language and teaching a language is a very important thing for tolerance, understanding other people. I think especially today we really need it.
Right.
So it's really important learning language. For example, you can watch movies or news translated, but if you speak several languages, you can actually go directly to different sources, websites, and check by yourself in Russian, in English, in French, whatever language.
Why do you think it is very important to learn a new language? I'm not talking about English, but a different language. Why is it really important today? Considering like cultural, conflicts, maybe.
Last year I went to Japan, and I was really impressed because English there, it's not a very important language. I mean, they don't speak English very well, but they are so far from our world, from our Western world. They don't consider English as something very important. So I realized that speaking Japanese or an Asian language is much more practical. Or for example, recently I went to Italy. And I was very surprised to see that in Italy they speak much better French than English. I mean, where I was in Florence, for example.
Yeah.
We went to a restaurant and the chef went there to say hello.
Bonjour.
Bonjour. And when he saw that we spoke French, he was really excited. He started speaking French, and other people around, Italian people, just other guests, they also started speaking French. And it was really amazing because it was really surprising to see that English wasn't their language number one. So in some countries it's important. And also, I mean, English, it's not enough. Once you're done with English, it's good to learn something else.
Like Russian.
Russian, for example. Well, Russian, it's one of the world languages. And if you learn Russian, you can be understood in Kazakhstan, in some parts of Ukraine, also in some people in Azerbaijan, and also, lots of countries. So it's important, it's not only Russia.
It opens a lot of doors. That was great. Thank you very much for being here and sharing your secrets with you guys. And I hope you loved this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe. It really helps a lot. And go check NicoleDeli.com because I'm gonna upload more videos about language learning and some tips. Thank you and see you next time.
See you. Bye bye.
Пока. Пока.
Au revoir.
Tschüss.
Sayonara.
video.